Welcome to the Crosstown Nine. It's Chris and Jhon bringing you more Yankees baseball. We're back with Yankees baseball. Yankees have not been too bad. You know, they're middle of the road, which is better than how bad they've been recently. But there's been some exciting things. There's been some big things. And Anthony Volpe no longer on the squad, which is like probably the biggest news of any Yankees news that we can even start with. Lombard in, Volpe out, which actually I think we finished the last episode saying they probably don't bring up Lombard. And then as we posted it, they brought up Lombard.
Yep. That was the thing we talked about. Like, not even on the episode. Like, we were just like, after the fact, we were like, we should probably talk about Lombard because I didn't think they were going to bring him up because I just feel like that hasn't really been their style. But I'm pumped they did. Dude, he looks so good at shortstop.
It's great that they finally realized, like, yeah, that's not always our style, but maybe our style isn't working, so we should just try to do something that works. Like bringing up Lombard, like, makes sense. Spencer Jones has looked good. Like the young Yankees have looked good. Now, is this going to be? We talked about this. We did talk about this. Maybe not last time. 2 times ago. Is this going to be that story of like you get a hitter that hits a home run, he'll never listen to change again? We talked about it with like how the 2017 Yankees hit a home run because they were really good when they were supposed to be building, and then that's what the Yankees have tried to do for the last 10 years. You bring up Lombard, Spencer Jones look good. Do they just try to do that again with the baby bombers for the 900th time? And now we get stuck into the same loop of this is how we know if they're going to do it or not. Okay, if Anthony Volpe is the second baseman next year, they're baby bombering. They're baby bombering.
What's going to happen? It's going to stink. But I don't want to talk about next year because I think right now with Lombard and how well he's been hitting, and you mentioned Jones as well, my major concern with what they're going to do is it's going to come postseason and then they're going to run out weird lineups that aren't going to be the best for Lombard or for Jones. So, like, randomly put Lombard at third base, even though he didn't play third base all season. Bench Jones, even though he's on a heater, but play Grisham, who's over his last 50. Like, something like that. That is very Yankee MO, which is what it's like now. I've just come to the thought that they're going to be first or second wild card, and that's just what the postseason is going to be, and so now it's just seeing what happens when everyone comes back and what weird lineups we're going to see down the stretch and in the playoffs.
Yeah, only they're 5.5 games out of first place for the East, but they are the first wild card team currently. The American League is still just dog duty. It is really rough outside of the American League East. Honestly, the Astros are 60-59. They lead the West. The White Sox are still in first after the trade deadline. We're into August. They're still in first by 3.5 games. By the way, Detroit, second place. Maybe they shouldn't have traded Scooble. You know, if they only had that ace style pitcher, they might be pretty good.
They're just one pitcher away.
They're just one pitcher away. I wonder who that could be. So they're definitely going to make the wild card. They're definitely going to make like the postseason. You know, complaining Yankees fan. That's what we really are, because they're going to make the postseason. We could be the Royals with 70 losses on the year when they were supposed to win the division. But what you're saying is exactly right. Like, we're going to get towards the end of the year, and Volpe's going to get called back up. They're going to stick him at short. They're going to put Lombard at third. They're going to put Garcia at second. You know, they're going to do something silly, and they're going to play guys out of position. And that's what we talked about at the trade deadline. Like, they got Ramos. We see what they're doing with him now. I still think he is their outfield of the future. They move on from Grisham. They put either Bellinger or maybe even Ramos in center. Ramos did play center for a little bit. He's not that fast, but he did play center for a little bit for the Giants. So maybe he goes in the center. Bellinger goes in the center. And that just becomes the outfield of Ramos, Bellinger, and Judge when he comes back. But just playing guys out of position is like the MO of the Yankees. So, like, who's it going to be? Is Jazz going to third?
And it's going to be interesting when everyone's healthy. Like, we've had this conversation before of like when everyone's healthy, specifically the lineup. Because I think you can see what the rotation and bullpen's going to look like once Rodón is back. But I'm curious what they're going to do with Clark Schmidt if he comes back, if he just becomes another bullpen piece rather than a starter.
He has to become a bullpen piece.
Yeah.
I don't see him not being a bullpen piece. Their bullpen has still been really rough.
They're being used so much.
The good ones are being completely used.
Yeah.
They're being completely used.
We don't score more than 3 runs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's exactly it. But like, it comes back to more of like baseball today, because the starting pitchers, it's either starting pitchers need to be dragged out or the bullpen needs to be dragged out. Well, starting pitchers only go 6 innings, so they're not being dragged out. Plus, you want them for the postseason, so the arms are the ones that are getting dragged out, and it shows. I mean,
yeah,
if it's a close game in the last 3 innings, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a win. Now, there have been some now that they have gotten the win, but even against the, I think it was the Braves. What is the one where Garcia hit the home run to take the lead? Was that the Braves, or was that the series before?
I think that was St. Louis game 2.
Yeah, it was St. Louis. It was St. Louis. Yes, they come back. They come all the way back. They take the lead, and it didn't even last like 5 minutes. The last out was made. We go to the top of the next inning, and immediately 6 runs given up. So like, it doesn't feel like those close games are going to be wins, but that's what happens. They didn't go get a bullpen arm. We talked about like the most important thing was, even more important than catcher, was a bullpen arm, and they didn't go get one.
Yeah.
So,
and I think what's going to happen too is we're going to get to those games where they're maybe down 2 or 3 runs, and instead of using your high leverage arms to keep it close, they just kind of say, it is what it is. It's baseball. You're going to win. You win some, you lose some, and they're going to throw out their like not high leverage arms. And if they lose, they lose. And if they come back and win, cool. Like, I think we're going to get to that point later in the season, especially if the division doesn't get any closer.
Yeah. It's just going to become, play for the wild card. There's 2 spots. They have almost a 10-game lead on the wild card. One
you play
spot
to stay healthy, essentially.
Yeah, which is not really what you want. But, at this point, they have to, because their biggest names are injured and have been injured all year. Yeah. Judge might not even come back this year. They're saying he might not even be back on the field this entire year.
I'm seeing so many different rumors and speculation about when he comes back, if he comes back at all. And that's
it hurts. It hurts because he is.
There's no way you see this team winning if he's not there.
Yeah, if he's not
at
back
least with him, you have a chance.
Then you're playing for next year. If he's not back, you are definitely playing for next year. Let's talk about who's hot.
If he doesn't come back, why bring Stanton back?
Yeah, you might as well just.
You might as well just tell him to let everyone else run.
Yeah,
let everyone else play. Same with Grisham. Get rid of Grisham. He's gone anyway at the end of the season.
Grisham in the last 15 games is batting 196 with 2 home runs.
And horrendous defense.
Spencer Jones, 190 with 3 home runs. Spencer Jones actually has 8 RBIs as well. You'll be shocked to know they're striking out a lot. Jazz Chisholm, Ben Rice, both 17 strikeouts in 15 games. Spencer Jones, Trent Grisham. Jones has 12. Grisham has 11. Jason Dominguez, someone we haven't talked about in weeks. We haven't talked about Dominguez. We talked about maybe being traded, but nothing other than that. 32 at-bats, only 8 games. Batting .250, but 10 strikeouts. They're striking out a lot. That's kind of the Yankees' MO as well. Ben Rice was struggling. I think if you go to the last 7 days, he's probably a lot better because he was struggling hard, but he kind of turned it around in that time. Let's see. Nope, 118 in the last 7 games.
Also, I don't think I'm not surprised with the last 15 games because if you're a pitcher going against the Yankees, he's probably the only one you're really concerned about.
Yeah.
So you got to pitch very carefully around him.
130 average, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 17 strikeouts, and 9 walks. I mean, it's funny, like, if you go to the year-to-date category, like, here's your 8 through 1 in home runs, and it looks like we have 8 is tied. Okay, so there's 2 tied at 10. Bellinger has 11. Caballero has 12, Grisham has 13, Goldschmidt has 16. Judge and Chisholm are tied at 17 for second, and then Ben Rice has 32. But no, that can't. Wait. That can't be right. this must just be Yankee stats because Garcia has like 25 home runs.
Yeah, probably just Yankee. Makes sense. Garcia's
Yeah.
played all 5 games.
Yeah, 24 home runs on the year for Garcia. Anyway, offense has been anemic, but what else is new? I was going to switch over to pitching, but it's not letting me switch over to pitching.
And the thing is with offense, I don't see it changing anytime soon. Because who in this lineup do you see, other than maybe Lombard, switch up their approach so that they're just slapping the ball around more, not striking out? Because I don't even think the 2 guys we brought in, Garcia and Ramos, are going to be contact guys.
No, neither of them were ever known as contact guys.
So
and Ramos is, I don't even know if I checked what Garcia is 211 with that 1 home run. He only struck out once, which is good, but Ramos has actually looked pretty rough at the plate. I don't know what his stats are because I switched to pitching, but he probably struck out about 10 times. He's only been there for a couple games.
Yeah.
He's been a little rough.
And my hope is that obviously they alternate around, but that it's not one of those on-off situations where like everyone stinks and then everyone's great and then everyone stinks again.
Yeah.
Like I would like to just see some evening out a little bit.
If we really want to talk about who's hot, Gerrit Cole has been really hot on the mound.
All the pitchers, man. All the starters have been good.
But especially Cole has been like lights out on the mound his last couple starts. He's looked like
his last game he went 7?
He went 7 innings, struck out like 14 guys or something. He kind of looked like prime Gerrit Cole. Vintage, I should say. Vintage Gerrit Cole. He looked like vintage Cole. Schlittler has been good. He did struggle in his last one. Gave up 4 runs in 5 innings or something like that. Fried's been fine. Fried's been like two runs a game easily. But then the bullpen, I mean, I'm not even going to name names. 4, 10, 5, 8 are just some of the ERAs from that bullpen. 6 and 9 are the other 2 really bad ones. We got a couple of zeros here. But anybody with over 6 games, except for 1, and that's Hedrick, has an over 3 ERA out of the bullpen. Oh, Blackburn too, but it looks like he had a start. Oh, no, he didn't. He had a loss. So he has a 2. Hedrick has a 2.45. Everybody else has over a 4. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yankees, man. They're doing fantastic.
Who do they got? They got Rodon's almost back. Belly looking like end of August if we're lucky. Probably beginning of September. Stan, who knows?
The
Stan one is so confusing to me.
Does MLB.com show injuries? Here we go. Injury updates.
I'm on MLB.
Yeah, I'm on MLB as well. I just went to injury updates so I could see. No, it just tells you kind of injuries. Literally, it just kind of tells you updates on Aaron Judge. That's it. It's just updates on Aaron Judge.
But it's like
and Bellinger.
Ribs not completely healed. He hasn't swung a bat since May 31st.
It's wild.
Expected return is possibly August. I don't see how that's possible.
Do you see like an injury report or do you just see injury news?
There's injury news.
Yeah.
Injuries and roster moves. Latest injuries and transactions.
Yankees injury report.
Because Rodón is actually pitching. He had a rehab start
right now.
Through 50 pitches.
Okay.
So I assume one more rehab start, then he's back.
They said he's going to do one more.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Judge, Rodón, Schmidt, Stanton, Bellinger. That's it. That's their injury report for their
those are the
top
5
end guys. That's it. It's just those 5. Rodón allowed 3 runs and 2 walks in his first rehab outing. Will start again on Saturday. Aaron Judge is cleared for light activities, which includes outdoor running and upper body resistance. So he's not coming back this year. Clark Schmidt is playing catch, so he's probably a week or so away from getting on the mound. What is going? Is Stan ever coming back?
Bro,
Like it
I
just
don't
says
know.
he's running. It says he has started to run the
don't know.
bases. It's like he's been out for months, like
I
with
don't
a
know.
hamstring injury. Is he just
And
never
it's
coming
so
back?
curious to me because every update is like he's jogging, he's kind of running, now he's running bases. So I'm
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
What is wrong with him? What
don't
is
know.
actually wrong with him? Is there actually something wrong with him? Did they just
I
not want
wonder
him
if it's
playing?
like if it's the same thing of like what we talked about. Which I don't think the Yankees run that way or anyone, but it's like, why play him with Judges in here?
I don't know. Let's talk
Man,
about
we're gonna pay
something.
you. Just hang out. When we need you, we'll call you back.
We'll call you back. Let's just try to get through that contract. Let's talk about something that was kind of cool that I love every year. That was Old Timers Day. They actually had really good coverage of it this year. I don't know if you were able to watch any of it.
I didn't watch it, but I saw a lot of like who was there, and I saw like the Wells and the Munson catcher's gear, which was really cool.
That's what I mean. Like they had really good coverage of it. Like so, they showed the game. It's fine every year. It's a bunch of old guys playing baseball. Matsui goes yard at some point because he just constantly is going yard. But there was a lot of recaps. There's a lot of stuff that came out of it overall. They interviewed a bunch of guys during the game. Like Posada went on at one point. I think Swisher maybe went on at one point. I don't remember. There were a couple guys that went on to talk with Kay and whoever, O'Neill or whoever was on with him at the time. But then the social media stuff that came out, like they did Todd Frazier mic'd up. Did you see Todd Frazier mic'd up? Like he's not like the most interesting guy in the world, but it's like it's cool that one thing about liking the Yankees is like they can do stuff like that because they just have a lot of really good legends. El Duque was out there.
Yeah. So I had this thought too. Does anyone else do something like that?
The Mets do.
But that's recent, right?
Yeah, well, because they're now starting to have enough to be able to do it. There's not really.
So is that the reason why teams don't do it? Because they're not going to have the turnover?
So. I mean, the Brewers Hall of Fame, they kind of let anyone in, so they did let anybody in for this too. I think if you were an all-time, Barry Bonds went to a Brewers game as a kid, they'd probably let him into their Old Timers Day. But most teams, I mean, what do you got? The Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, maybe the Mets, Red Sox probably do it. They don't play a game, but they probably bring legends back. Nobody plays a game like that. They're the only team I can think of that actually plays a game where the legends come back. No one does that, but they definitely bring legends and alumni back constantly.
Yeah, well, especially when they like remember like important moments like World Series pennants, things like that for sure. But like something like Old Timers Day specifically, where it's like that.
Yeah, I think the Mets.
If anyone else did it,
I think the Mets. You're right. I think they did just start doing games themselves. But I can't think of any other team that like plays an actual game except for the Brewers. Because like I said, as long as you like have seen a Milwaukee Brewers hat, they want you there at their Old Timers game. I still can't get over that.
No other sport, right? Obviously, I've seen football, but like basketball?
They bring back those guys from the 70s in football with full pads,
the old school helmets too. No?
You have to wear the helmet of the era you played in. You didn't have CT before.
Get Lawrence Taylor out there against Phil Simms for the Giants. See what happens.
Lawrence Taylor goes out there against I can't remember his name. I was gonna say the quarterback from like 1950.
Oh my god, who was that?
Tittle? Right?
Yeah.
Why Tittle? Look at me, my football knowledge, my Giants knowledge.
But yeah, I was curious
a fan of the team.
Go ahead.
But basketball could probably be the sport that should do it. Of all sports, basketball is the one that should do it. Like you could bring guys back and have them play a basketball game for 15 minutes. I don't think they'll fall
before
apart.
Pregame.
Yeah, they won't fall apart. I would hope. Some guys might.
I did see tears ACL and blows his Achilles.
This guy that's like a 68-year-old legend for the Portland Trail Blazers tears his ACL.
Just tears his ACL. There's that one guy in the celebrity game now, probably like 10, 15 years ago, that like blew his Achilles during a celebrity game. He was like a politician.
I shouldn't laugh. That's so mean. That's so tough. That's so tough. Yeah. I was gonna bring up a story, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Maybe off air. There was an article by MLB about should Posada or Swisher look into being a manager of a team.
I thought about Posada. I thought about Posada.
Yeah, I was like, Posada makes sense. Swisher does not. Swisher's a freaking loose cannon.
I can see him as a hilarious bench coach, though.
Yeah, he can be a great bench coach, but not a manager. Posada, I could see as a manager, but he said he didn't want to do it.
Swisher, I thought would go into like TV or something like that. But him, I can see doing that really well.
He went into the MLB X thing. He does that like home run derby X, like from MLB. He basically works for MLB, right? Like they do a bunch of videos. They do mic'd up. He's mic'd up all the time. True. He's on Fox in the postseason, I'm pretty sure, even. Or he was. Maybe not anymore because they're like, well, we can go get Jim Thome and David Ortiz and Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter, so we don't need Nick Swisher. No disrespect to Nick Swisher.
There is a hierarchy to that.
There's very much a hierarchy.
So Jorge Posada doesn't want to manage?
Yeah, Posada said on air that he didn't want to do it, but he was a coach, wasn't the manager, but he was a coach for Italy for the World Baseball Classic. So like it became a thing, like should he be looked at as a manager? But he said he didn't have any interest really in doing it because there's a lot to do that, right? There's a lot to being a coach. There's a lot to being a manager. It's long nights, especially in baseball. You're doing it for a long time kind of thing, like it's months and months and months. And I just don't think he has that type of interest in doing something like that. But I think he'd be good. I don't think the Yankees should go get him. If they're going to get rid of Aaron Boone, they need to go get someone that's like established. They need to go get someone that's like a really good manager. Like maybe not him, but Bruce Bochy type. They shouldn't be going to get some other dingwad that will just be analytic. But here's something that's going to be super like not agreed with, whatever you want to say. Boone is not the problem. I think if Boone was there and Cashman was gone, the Yankees would be just fine. It's like the Girardi thing. Everyone was like mad at Girardi. They won the World Series. I get it, but they're always like, man, he doesn't do a good job. They stink. But then we went back and did a retrospect of those teams. He actually should have gotten way more props back then because they were 500 with some dog poo teams. So like on the same end, like there was a time where like for 5 straight years, the Yankees won 100 games. And they did not have the team that should be winning 100 games. I think Boone is actually not a bad manager when he actually is able to manage a game, which you see in like July. He's analytical at the beginning of the year. He's analytical in the postseason, and he has to follow whatever the nerds give him at those times. But somewhere around end of June and July, maybe beginning of August, you can see him managing the game because they're not going to go nerds the entire time. They got to give him some time.
Yeah, but I think once they made the transition from Girardi to Boone, that I think early on there was some criticism of Boone, but I think now it's like you look at these teams and the names that they've put out there and like putting players out of position. You're like, I feel like more now people are looking at Cashman like, what are you like? Why are you giving Boone like these misfit toys to play every season?
Yeah.
We've looked at it every year, even over the past, like obviously over the past like 5 years, but even longer than that. You're just like,
we went all the way back to 2010.
Yeah, I'm like, who are these guys that are playing?
Who are
and
these
even
people?
In the last
who
5
are
years,
you people?
It's putting players out of position because the analytics say you can just. It's weird when they decide to get analytical and when they don't, because it just doesn't make sense. Some of the stuff they do sometimes.
I've always said, when people say like for social media, for example, like you're trying to sell posts and so you're getting numbers that look good for you, whether that's, there's some important, but it might be like impressions or something like that. And what I tell people is use baseball numbers. Find the numbers that work for you. And that's what baseball analytics really are.
Yeah.
Find the numbers that work for you. Is it on-base percentage? Fantastic. Is it WAR? Great. Is it batting average against lefties at night in September? Fantastic. Great. I'm glad that's the stat you want to go with. But baseball will always find the numbers that work for you. The reason that starts is because, like, in baseball, when you're playing that many games, I mean, in my life, I've played baseball all my life, but I've never played 162 games. I've never been in the majors or the minors, never had to grind through any of that. But even in like a 15, 20, 30 game season, it's such a long season. You have to find the numbers that fit you right. When I played in New York, my first year, I struck out a ton. I've always been a home run strikeout guy. And I remember my manager would show me my batting average balls put in play to try to motivate me to put more in play. He's like, you're batting 650 when the ball's put in play. And it's like, because you're striking out so much. Hit the damn ball, put the bat on the ball, and let's get it going. And it's like you find the numbers that work for you because you kind of need that in a long season. But it gets taken to another level when you get the nerds involved, and they're like, well, this is the number for what our left fielder should be. They should be really good against lefties at night. And it's like, you want somebody that's going to be good all the time. Anyway.
Yeah, and it's a bad way to find free agents and trades. It's a bad way to build a team, but like when you're out trying to, because now you're like trying to bet on what a player is going to do in your stadium, which I think was the issue with like Joey Gallo, where you're like, oh, that swing, he'll take advantage of the porch. I'm like, yeah, but he doesn't put the bat on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can do it if you make contact, but he swings and misses. I can't handle the pressure. The hitting homers doesn't matter.
Yeah, the Yankees are also very known for, especially in that era, the Joey Gallos, the Sonny Grays. Like these guys would come in, and they would try to change their entire style. Like Sonny Gray famously said, he hated
pitchers, yeah.
He hated pitching for the Yankees because all they wanted was the slider, I think it was. Like they wanted him to constantly throw his slider, and it would just kill his arm. And also he would hang a bunch of them because if you're throwing 50 sliders, you're gonna hang some of them. And he gave up more home runs, and then he like left the Yankees and immediately was a Cy Young candidate. Like they do that a lot with a lot of these guys. They see someone like Joey Gallo who's not putting the bat on the ball, but they're like, just pull, like just swing as hard as you can because you're gonna hit it out of here. Maybe that's not the best way to do it. Now, I don't know if they changed him now that much, but they probably did. I think they come in and change all these guys. They want them to fit their mold.
Yeah.
They take something that's close and try to mold it more to what's for them. So it's, again, I said it in like the last 3 episodes. You can't play MLB The Show in real life. It just doesn't work. You can't mold people the way you want. You can't change their statistics. You can't change how good they are. You can't change their position.
Their sliders, man.
Yeah, you can't just change their sliders. Like you can't just be like, well, he plays shortstop. He can play any position on the field. I'm going to put him in right. Like it just doesn't work that way. Like people actually need to learn how to play a position. They need to train how to play a position. That guy that's playing second base, shortstop's a different position. But like that guy that's playing second base probably played second base his entire life. That guy playing left field probably played it his entire life. You're throwing him somewhere else. Like he's just not going to fit because he's never played it before. He doesn't know how to do it. The first base experiment is the best one. People like to say first base is like the slowest, and it's like you just throw a guy there because there's not much that has to go on. What happens when most everyone goes to first base? They stink.
And the ball finds them in.
Yes, the ball finds you, but like they can't scoop, they can't cover the base, they don't know what they're doing because you may not have to move as much as some other positions, but you still have to know what you're doing over there. You don't know how to scoop a ball. It's not the same at shortstop or second base as it is at first base. You really have to go through the ball. You have to really go to the ball. There's a lot more that goes into it than just give him a glove, stick him at first base, he'll be fine. They tried putting Judge there, stunk at it. They tried putting Stanton there, stunk at it. They've tried putting people there, but it's just not, you can't just put somebody there. And that's any of these positions. You can't play people out of position. They played it their whole lives. This isn't a game. You can't just switch them whenever you want.
Yeah, which might always confuse me when they did. I mean, they still do it now. Like where I feel like someone like Caballero shouldn't really be playing outfield. He should be playing them third, second, short, and that's it.
Yeah.
And someone like Schumann. Again, I don't know Schumann's background if he's actually consistently played outfield. I'm guessing not. But like, put him at second and short.
Based on what I've seen.
Yeah. So it's like stuff like that where I'm like, because you built the team poorly, you're putting all these players in bad positions and they're performing poorly.
Yeah. It's fitting the bill. They're performing poorly because you've made them play poorly. So
it was the whole Jazz thing where he
played third base.
They moved him to third.
Center. Remember, he played center too.
But that was also my thing when when people were talking about training for a second baseman, like when there was a conversation of Arias, and I was like, would they do that? Put Jazz in center, and then have Grisham now be your fourth outfielder, I guess. Because they were saying, I forget who it was I was listening to about that. And the time Grisham has been here, he's never played a corner outfield for the Yankees. He's only played center. So, I don't think
that's
now.
Because before he got here, they had Judge in center, and then they put Bellinger there.
Yeah. But I'm like, would you not then, in a situation like that, would you not rather have Jazz, who's played it, put him in center, or Rise at second, have Grisham play left or right?
The thing is, if they would have got a Rise, he'd play third. And McMahon's actually been decent. He actually hasn't been that bad.
They probably freaking play Rise in left field.
Yeah. They put him at first base. Then they have 4 first basemen. Instead of the 3, they'd have 4.
They'll have a Rise platoon at first.
Yeah, so every other day, someone else is in 2, 3, 4. Then you go back to the top 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, sorry, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you try someone else at first to see if they can play it, and then you go back to the top. So you have 5 days. Every 5 days, someone else is playing first base. It's crazy how there's so many holes, and they got 2 positions that are fine. Trying to be salty about it, especially because I think they're going to be pretty good. They have some, they're going to be around for a minute as well. I still don't know what they're going to do with Garcia after this year. I understand it for this year. They have him for what would we say, 2 more years? They have both of them for 2 more years or a year and a half, whatever.
Goldie will be gone. Grisham is gone. I think those 2 are the replacement for those 2.
Okay, but Stanton goes back to DH.
Yeah.
So then where does he fit? Because Ben Rice is playing first.
I think you'll end up doing a situation of Ben Rice DH or Stanton DHs, and then Garcia plays first.
He's also not really known for his flashy defense, so it's not
Garcia.
Yeah.
He's been all right, though, since he's been here.
Yeah, he did make that catch, and I think they ended up losing. No, that's the game they won, where he made that catch behind first base, and
he's been fine.
He's been fine. It's just there's so many holes. I still think you might see him at second base, even though he wasn't good at it, because I don't think Jazz is back at the end of the year, personally. I know you don't either.
You know what's going to happen is that Volpe's going to come up next year.
Volpe's at second.
Now we're talking about next year. It's going to be Ken Elwood.
Volpe's at second.
Volpe's going to come back, play second.
Garcia
He's going to sting. They're going to put Garcia. They're going to
Rice at catcher.
In theory.
In theory. Well, hopefully the theory's wrong. I wouldn't be shocked if
they're going to put Rice at catcher and still platoon him with Wells.
Yeah. Well, you got a platoon.
And now Ben Rice was borderline MVP for
and now they have 3 lefty catchers, by the way. Now they have 3 lefty catchers back there that they're platooning instead of 2 lefty catchers back there that they're platooning. Yeah. I don't know. It's been crazy.
I think next year should be even more, just as confusing as this year.
I think so as well. I don't think they really have a big plan. The Yankees had yesterday off, or today, depending on when you're listening, but you're probably listening, where they had yesterday off, Mariners at home, Blue Jays away, and then Orioles away. So one more little homestand before a very long homestand, by the way, going into September. They play the Blue Jays, Astros, and Red Sox all straight. There's a doubleheader on that one. We're getting into those doubleheaders we talked about.
The Red Sox and the Rays, right?
Yeah, I think the Rays are the Orioles and the Red Sox. A lot of divisional doubleheaders that they moved to the end of the year for some reason. And also the 11th, if you're listening and the game hasn't gone yet, K-pop Demon Hunters Night. Rumi's Yankees bobblehead that's been on every broadcast. You don't want to miss it. They don't sponsor us. Trust me. This is something we just really enjoy. K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, you don't want to get out there and get it. Anyway, any closing thoughts before we finish this thing up?
The Red Sox start losing. I think they're 27-3 in their last 30, something ridiculous like that.
I'm not going to go too into it, but there's a lot of Reddit rumors. Put it that way, so you can take it with whatever grain of salt you want. And if
like the Astros,
later if you cut this up so I look like a dick, whatever. All right, because that's what's gonna happen. But there's been a lot of Reddit rumors that they have some sort of system in place, and that's why they've been so hot at home, because their home and away splits are dreadful. They're
really
unreal at home. It's just awful on the road. Yeah,
trash cans.
Yeah, trash cans.
It took from the Astros. Desperate times.
Yeah, desperate times. Desperate times. Anyway, follow us, Crosstown Nine, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can also subscribe to the Discord. It's in the description, where every episode comes right to your phone notification. Every post comes right to your phone notification. Subscribe to us on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and follow along as the Yankee season's almost over. Well, hopefully not almost over, but the season itself is coming to a close. A couple months left. We don't want it to be over so soon. Hopefully Judge comes back. For Chris and Jhon, I should have said from Jhon and Chris, this is the Crosstown Nine. Go Yankees. We'll see you next time.